Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinite Series, Marvel's Hawkeye. Hawkeye comes from the All-Father Build-A-Figure wave, or the Odin wave, and I figured we'd start this series of reviews with Hawkeye just because he comes with the torso needed for Odin. And then that way, I figured we could just kind of add the arms and legs and head to the existing body. Hawkeye luckily does come with his own accessories too. It looks like he comes with a quiver of arrows as well as his trusty bow. Side of the package shows some really nice artwork of Hawkeye, both left and right side. It's the same image though, both sides. And we spin around the back. Your read-up says, a master archer, Hawkeye takes down evil from afar. And it also has that in French, Spanish, and another language. You can collect all 7 figures to build yourself your very own All-Father or Odin. One thing I like though is that the Maidens of Night, the 2 figures, also come with 2 different heads. Smart. It's not just the the exact same accessory. But the other figures are Marvel's Iron Fist, Avenging Allies, which is Machine Man. We got Avenging Allies, which is also Sentry, Hawkeye, Thor, I think that's Captain Marvel, and Scarlet Witch. To check out more, you can go to www.marvelkids.com, and you can also head over to Hasbro at www.hasbro.com/The Avengers. Actually, it's just /Avengers. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to not only get a look at Hawkeye, but we're also going to start our reviews of the Build-A-Figure of Odin. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Before we actually get into Hawkeye and all his accessories, the one main accessory that comes with Hawkeye is the top torso of the All-Father, or in this case, Odin. I figured, again, it was probably good to start with this piece, and then we could just add the limbs, the legs, the arms, and the head to it. First glance, it's not bad. The top torso has a light silverish gray color to it. The wash that they put over top of it looks a little messy, just from first glance. Maybe once we've added other things to it, it may not look so bad, but it kind of looks like they just glopped a big bunch of like brownish paint to it. But we'll certainly add more to it. We'll eventually have ourselves a fully completed Odin. In the meantime, we really only have the top torso. So we'll just put that to the side. And looking at Hawkeye, Hawkeye comes with 2 accessories, one being his bow. When I saw it in packaging, I thought initially that the bow could be collapsed, or I thought it had articulation to it just because of the way it was sculpted. It turns out it's just one solid piece of plastic. The bow string could be argued that it should have been another color as opposed to just using the same purple that they use for the rest of the bow. Doesn't really bother me all that much, surprisingly. So he comes with that. Then we flip it around on the back. He has his quiver of arrows. The quiver is the same color as his bow. This kind of light purple pink color. The arrows also share the same color at the top, which is kind of maybe could be perceived as cheating. It's a bit of a cheat that they didn't paint anything else. But at least the top of the feathers are painted in off-white. So it breaks up at least it being all purple. Pegs very easily into the back of his, well, the back of his back. Just like that. You could kind of have it on the side if you want, or you can have it just straight up. Whatever you prefer, you can do whatever you want. Taking the quiver off, just putting that also to the side. I like the look of this figure. Let me also just say, it's a breath of fresh air to be getting a classic look to Hawkeye, and not just the Hawkeye that we get from Avengers, or the Hawkeye that we get from Marvel Now, or the Hawkeye that we got from the Ultimate line, where it's just a guy with a brush cut wearing an outfit, and he has a bow and arrow. Give me this give me this Hawkeye, I should say, any day of the week. I like it. I just love the look of classic Hawkeye. He has a very Wolverine style mask to it. That was always a big thing about this Hawkeye. It's not as predominant on this face or on this mask as other Hawkeyes I've seen. I kind of wish that this section could have stuck out a little bit further than what it did. It's very close to his face. The big H still on his forehead. I love that. It's a really well-rounded figure. Now, this section right here, he's basically got the regular Marvel Legends body, and then they've just put this top piece over top. It's a loose piece. You can't really take it off of him. It doesn't, well, I should say there are straps on the side. There's a little strap clip that you could take off. I really don't know why you would want to. I mean, really, to take it off, there's not really much going on underneath. Colorings on all the outfit he's wearing. It's kind of like a dark purpley blue. And he's got the violet. The one thing that's kind of offsetting, or not offsetting in a bad way, but he has this kind of metallic arm. It doesn't really go with anything else that's on his body. It somewhat matches the mesh top of his tunic, or whatever you would want to call that. But it does throw you off that it's just a little bit off in color versus everything else. But it still surprisingly works for me. It doesn't bother me at all. Guy's Buccaneer boots going on still there down below. It's a good look for the piece. Not everyone's. I know some people still like the Avengers Hawkeye versus this guy right here, but I dig the look of him. For a very retro look to the figure itself. In the way of his articulation, he does have a ball hinge joint. In other words, he's got a ball joint at the top, but then he's also got a hinge in the neck. The hinge moves up and down, and then he's got the ball joint freedom up at the top there. He's got ball hinge socket shoulders. This one's a little bit stiffer, but it still moves out, forward and back. Swivel at the bicep. He has a double bend at the elbow. Swivel and hinge in the hand. Then the upper torso has a swivel and crunch. A little more limited because he's got this stuff on it versus just his regular body underneath, but still it's not too bad. This one arm moves a little freer than this one. This one's a little bit looser. When it comes to his legs hinge forward and back out. Luckily they're using the newer Marvel Legends articulation, so it's not the rotation and then hinge forward, the rotation and then the hinge out. It does it all very well on its own. Swivel at the thigh, double bend the knee, swivel at the top of the boot, and then you've got a pivot point and hinge in the foot section. Just get him straightened out here. We'll put while we're at it, we'll also put the bow in his hand. He has the means, by the way, for his finger to pull back the bow. It's not always the most successful of accomplishments, but you can get the hand to kind of bend the bow back, or at least just kind of have it look as if he's about to retract back the string of the bow. It's a very successful looking figure. It does things very well. It also is a great nod to people like myself who like the more classic look of Hawkeye versus the ongoing images and looks of Hawkeye that we see nowadays with Avengers and stuff like that. I got nothing against that Hawkeye, but any day of the week, give me this guy right here. This kind of quasi-Wolverine clone in Hawkeye. We'll just get the quiver into his back. Just like that. Hawkeye is a really good-looking figure. It's a good way to start this series, and I'm excited to see what the other figures are going to look like out of packaging. In the meantime, Hawkeye, I'm going to give him a very strong 8.5. Kudos to Hasbro for giving us classic Hawkeye versus, again, every Hawkeye that we've seen since. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinite Series Marvel's Hawkeye. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more videos heading your way, and more videos for Marvel Legends heading your way, as of course we are going to complete Odin. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.